Hey there, comic book community. My name is Joe, and you're watching 360 Comics. Today, I'm bringing you 5 tips that will help improve your experience when buying comic books on the WhatNot app, no matter what type of collector you are. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss out on our 2,000 subscriber giveaway where the prize is this copy of Secret Wars #1. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up for a like, and leave a comment down below. That gives you 1 entry, and then check out our other videos from the month of May for additional entries. No matter who you are or what your interest may be as a collector, there is something for everybody on the WhatNot app. If you're not familiar with WhatNot, basically it is a live auction app that has auctions ranging from 30 to 60 seconds with starting bids as low as just $1. Now, there is everything on there from cards to toys to, of course, my favorite, comic books. We're going to talk about 5 things that you can do to improve the quality and the positivity of your experience on the app and hopefully get you a few deals. And these tips aren't just going to apply to one type of collector, whether you're buying for your own personal collection, you're buying to read stuff, you're buying as an investor, or even just to flip. There is something in this for you, so stick around for that information. I hope you enjoy. Tip number 1 is use the bookmark feature, and I cannot express how important this is. As there becomes more and more sellers on the app, it's going to be harder to navigate and find a sale that you really want to be in based upon your own interests and needs. That being said, the app allows sellers to upload their inventory prior to the sale and schedule it, and you can go in and check what they have and see if they have things that you like, that you want, that you think have potential to make you some money if that's what you're into. And you can actually go in and bookmark different sales to remind you to enter that sale when the time comes. You'll actually get a notification on your phone as long as you have notifications turned on. Now, a lot of sellers will upload their inventory, but they won't list things. They'll have comic lot number 1, comic lot number 2. If they do it this way, obviously that doesn't give you any information. And I'm not telling you to steer clear from those sellers because there might be some great things in there. But this is just from a preemptive, before the sale starts perspective. Go in, check some stuff out, and say you're a Spider-Man collector. Well, one person might list a bunch of Spider-Man books that you're interested in. It would be great to bookmark that and be in the sale for that event. You can actually also pre-bid, which is a feature that I personally have not used yet, but if you're not able to attend or if you just want to kick off the bid being the first bidder, it's a great option to use. Again, not something that I've done, but definitely something that is viable. Tip number 2 is going to be if you're just jumping in randomly, if you didn't do some research, I like to go into the rooms that have a low count of viewers. That's because there's less competition in the bidding. If you show up to an auction and there are 3, 4, 5 people in the room versus 20, 30, 40 people in the room, you probably have a better chance of getting those books for a really, really nice price. Less competition in the bidding. Now, a lot of the sellers won't put their good stuff up unless they have a lot of stuff in the room. So just be aware of that as well. If it seems like it's the dollar books, the $3, the $5, the low value stuff that is, popping up time after time, and they're not selling any of the big books that they have, even if some are listed, well, that might be a good opportunity for you to go check out another room and maybe check back later to see if those books do eventually go up. Sellers will do different things, like giveaways and stuff like that to get people in the room. So hopefully, they can get the ball rolling and, have enough people in there at a certain time. Tip number 3, moving on, stay in one room for a longer period of time if you're buying things. And the reason behind that is the shipping costs. We want to lower the shipping cost, obviously, as much as possible because that just adds to how much you paid per book. Now, with comic books, typically what the shipping charges are $4 for the first book that you buy. Now, once you have that first book purchased and you paid $4 in shipping, additional comic books are only $1 a piece. So For example, if you end up buying 2 books, you pay $5 in total. That's only $2.50 per book in shipping, whereas if you bought 1 book, you're paying $4 per book in shipping. So you get more books, the shipping price per book goes down. That just saves you some money overall per book. But then again, you got to make sure you're not bidding on things just to get lower shipping per book. You want to make sure you're bidding on things that you really want or that are a good deal. You don't want to get caught up in getting something that you really didn't want just because you wanted it to be less dollars per book shipping. So just be careful about that. Number 4, check how many books are left if you're randomly hopping into a room. I had a situation one time where I hopped into a room, I saw a book that I really wanted, I bid on it, and I won, and I was really stoked, and then I went and checked, and almost all of this person's books for this sale had sold. I think there were 3 or 4 more books, and none of them were ones that I wanted. So I didn't get the opportunity to bid on more books to lower the shipping. And in fact, the book that I got with the $4 shipping wasn't as great of a deal as I thought it was going to be, because originally I thought I was going to be able to get a couple more books, lower the shipping per book, hopefully get them for a good price as well. I made that mistake once, and I certainly won't make it again. Just check and see, if they have a ton of books left, that's usually a lot better than, just being able to get 1 or 2 books from a certain seller. The last tip that I'm going to give you today is don't overpay. And this, I've seen this happen before where, someone puts up their big book of the day, and people just bid on it. And it's almost like they either don't know or don't care what the book actually sells for. I've seen books sell for 20, 30, 50% over market value. Some things for even what I would consider to be twice as much as the typical market value sale of that book. Especially with books that are modern and even back into the 80s and even 70s, those books are amply out there. It's not like even the big ones, Secret Wars 8, very popular book, but they're out there. You will have other opportunities to buy those books. If it's a rare golden age book or something like that, yeah, maybe you can spend a little bit more, but don't get caught up with overbidding on something for fear of missing out. That's a term that's been used a ton in the comic book community, especially the last couple years as the market has exploded. Fear of missing out, which is basically just, buying something because you don't want to miss out on an opportunity. And usually when you do a FOMO buy, as they call it, you're actually going to lose out on value because you're probably buying it at a peak point, and there's a good chance that it will go down in value, and you'll be able to get it for a lower price in the short term. It's not like you necessarily have to wait multiple years or even multiple months. Sometimes the market has been up and down on a weekly basis, sometimes even on a daily basis. So you got to watch out for that. Don't overpay. Check eBay sold listings. If a book sold for, $20 to $25 recently, don't be bidding up into the 30s, especially because you got to take into account shipping. You got to take into account tax. All of those things are a factor. It's not super hard to get things for slightly under market value on WhatNot, but you just got to be patient. That is something that really in this community you need to have in order to get the good deals. I hope this information helps you in the future. These are just the tips that I use when buying on WhatNot, and I certainly have gotten some really cool things for a great price, both for my personal collection as well as things to resell, whether it's a spec book that I'm holding on to for now or something that I bought at a fraction of fair market value, and I know I can resell right away at one of my claim sales. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped, and until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.